So what would the fallout from the Royal Rumble be on the Raw side of things? I'll tell you as WGS-TV Reviews Monday Night Raw for the week of January 29th, 2018. Hey YouTube, are you ready for your hot tag? Because if you are, it's definitely time to work.
Hi, I'm Robert Gibson.
I'm Ricky Morton.
We're the Rock and Roll Express.
And you're watching WGS-TV.
Guys, I'm the Russell Gamer. Welcome back to another episode of WGS-TV right here on YouTube and Twitch. With the whole wrestling world clamoring over the appearance and debut of WWE's newest superstar, Ronda Rousey, you would think WWE would follow up on it, considering what a hot topic it is and whether it's good or bad, people were talking about her. But there was no appearance from Rousey, no mention of the story other than the fact that they just showed her debut over and over again. So that still leaves us in the dark as to what they're actually going to be doing with her. The first ever women's Elimination Chamber match would also get announced, and it's going to be for the Raw Women's Championship. And after that match, I believe we'll get Asuka's decision as to who she will face at WrestleMania. WWE would also hold Elimination Chamber qualifying matches this week, and Jonathan Coachman returned to commentary, and Booker T has been relegated back to doing pay-per-view kickoff shows. So apparently we're going to get a lot more of the shucky ducky quack quack moments in the animations and whatnot, and I thought we were done with that forever, and now Lance is just going to come at me with the shucky duck. While I have this mental breakdown, let's talk about Raw. McMahon would open up Raw this week talking about the historic Women's Royal Rumble match and the debut of Rowdy Ronda Rousey. I dare anyone to say that 5 times fast. She would then invite the Empress of Tomorrow down to the ring to talk about her Rumble win and what her plans were, until Sasha Banks, the boss, came out to not only congratulate Asuka on her Rumble win and talk about how they main evented the Rumble, but also challenge her by saying that she was ready for Asuka. So Stephanie made the match official for the evening. Personal opinion? Did anybody know what Asuka said on her promo? I'm not very fluent in Japanese. But still, nice opening to Raw, and get to see Asuka right at the beginning. Yes! 3 out of 5. The first Elimination Chamber qualifying match was a last man standing match between Kane and Braun Strowman, and you knew right from the get-go it was going to be uncontrollable and chaotic, and it was. In fact, the action started during the commercial break, and they were already out of the ring and fighting through the crowd. They would end up near the announce position, which sent the announcers scurrying away, and let's be honest, who would blame them? And after beating Kane down, Braun would produce yet another first for Monday Night Raw. To make sure that Kane would be unable to answer the referee's 10 count, he would flip not just the announcer's table, but the entire stage onto Kane. Personal opinion, I kind of like how the referee was like, screw it, Braun wins at that point. Counting to 10 at that juncture was basically a fruitless endeavor when you have an entire stage on top of you. 3.25 out of 5. Backstage, Kurt Angle would once again read the riot act to Braun, and he responded by saying that he should have done more. In come Elimination Chamber, he would be the last man standing. And at WrestleMania, he would be the last man standing against Brock Lesnar. Up next, it was the second Elimination Chamber qualifying match with Elias taking on Woken Matt Hardy. Elias would sing yet another song, something about this being Elias's night, Elimination Chamber, or something to that extent. You know, I've said it a countless times here on the review that I tend to tune out Elias when he's singing. The Woken one would have control of Elias in the match, that is, until we would feel the presence of Bray Wyatt, which distracted Hardy long enough to allow Elias to recover and hit the drift away to pick up the win and advance to the Elimination Chamber match along with Braun Strowman. After the match, Wyatt appeared on the Titantron and just laughed. Personal opinion? I kind of had a feeling that Wyatt was going to be involved in the match one way or another, because we knew that their angle wasn't over. It's just something that they do with anyone involved in an angle with Wyatt, honestly. But where are they going to go next? Are we going to see more vignettes of them just laughing at each other? 2.95 out of 5. Up next, the Intercontinental Championship was on the line in a rematch from Raw 25 as The Miz defended the title against the former champion Roman Reigns. The match started out as usual with any match involving The Miz, and that's the interference from the Miztourage. That is, until Reigns chased him off with a steel chair. From that point on, it was a really good match, especially with Miz injuring and exploiting the left knee of Reigns and even locking the figure 4 leg lock on Reigns. Reigns would eventually escape the hold, but here would come the Miztourage to do what they do best, and that's interfere on behalf of The Miz. Reigns dispatched of them both, but it would finally cost him as Miz rolled up Reigns to pick up the win and retain the Intercontinental Championship. Personal opinion, I don't see why people don't like Miz as an Intercontinental Champion. Miz is a great heel and a great talker. And JD from NY206 says the Intercontinental Championship needs to be on a babyface other than Roman Reigns. To a degree, I agree with him, but right now, who would be that person? But other than that, I don't know what else to say. 3 out of 5. Up next, it was the Revival, taking on Heath, Slater, and Rhino. Not a bad match here, although it was quite short. Slater would make the tag after being beaten down by the Revival, and it looked like the Man-Beast would have things in control until one-shot block and Shatter Machine later, the Revival would pick up the win. Personal opinion, I like how old-school WWE is trying to make the Revival out to be, even dropping the Graham Brothers name during the promo. I wonder what classic wrestling tag team name they will drop next week. You know, the Heavenly Bodies, the Funks, or even the tag team of the Dusty Rhodes and Dick Murdoch. I wonder how many of you guys out there remember those teams. Put a like on this video if you did. 2.95 out of 5. For the first time ever in WWE, the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, would take on Sasha Banks. And needless to say, both women took their games to the next level for sure. I mean, the spots were definitely hard-hitting spots, like Asuka countering Banks' suicide dive with a roundhouse kick, and the knee strikes from both women, and both of them utilizing their signature submission moves. Banks using the bank statement, of course, and Asuka would resort to first to using the, well, that is the still from the suicide dive roundhouse kick. I'm sorry, I did not have my stills in the right order, but that is the still from that one. And needless to say, if you think that still looks painful, just watch the full video of it. I mean, the landing was even worse. But again, it was Banks with the bank statement, and Asuka would first resort to using the cross arm breaker, which has become one of her signature submissions as of late, but it wouldn't work. It actually came down to Asuka using the Asuka lock on Sasha to force her to tap out and pick up the win. Personal opinion, great match. I think we're starting to see the Asuka we saw in NXT, and with WrestleMania coming up, it's the best time to start bringing that Asuka back into the limelight. Great match here, 4 out of 5. Up next, the Raw Tag Team Championships were on the line as the Bar, Cesaro, and Sheamus defended the titles against Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews of Titus Worldwide. For those of you who are wondering just what did Titus Worldwide do to warrant a shot at the titles, I refer back to their 2 victories over the Bar before the Rumble in back-to-back weeks. I have to say, it's almost been a night of hard knocks and bumps, because they were also ever present during this match. I mean, Crews took a hard powerbomb spot from Sheamus close to the ropes, and somehow he got up from it and continued on, but the impact of it looked downright nasty. I wasn't too impressed with Titus, but Apollo is indeed quite talented, but I question whether or not said talent is being utilized properly. The finish of the match was the Bar hitting the double white noise on Crews to pick up the win. Incidentally, WWE.com, the caption on this still is white noise DDT combo, but I don't see the DDT part. I guess maybe the inverted DDT probably. Personal opinion, 3 out of the 4 men involved in this match were good to me. I'll leave it up to you guys to figure out which 3. 2.85 out of 5. Up next, it was the main event, the final Elimination Chamber qualifier for the week, as John Cena took on Finn Balor, and I guess they gave Gallows and Anderson an entrance just so they could have some television time or something of that nature. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. One of the key things they kept drilling on commentary is how long Balor was in the Royal Rumble and the fact that it was Cena who eliminated him. So I guess that's probably the story behind the match, if you want to look at it from that perspective. And for what the match was, it was good and it did what it needed to do. The finish of the match was Cena hitting an avalanche attitude adjustment on Balor to pick up the win and advance to the Elimination Chamber match. Personal opinion. So instead of putting in someone you can push and get behind, WWE puts Cena in there instead. So if they're not going to use Balor in the Elimination Chamber match, just what are they going to do with him and the Balor Club for that matter? 3 out of 5. Time for overall score and thoughts. WWE updated a lot of their graphics, so in a sense it was like a season premiere of sorts for Raw. It was good to have Coach back, and I wonder if they had Strowman destroy the announcer stage just so they would have a reason to move the table back to ringside. Just speculating here. Overall score of Raw this week gets a 3 out of 5, with best match of the night going to Asuka versus Sasha Banks, with worst segment of the night going to anyone who didn't know who the Graham brothers were. Know your wrestling history, people. Well, guys and gals, that's been my thoughts on Monday Night Raw. What I want to know from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts about Monday Night Raw. What are your overall scores? What are your thoughts on Monday Night Raw? Definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. If you guys like this video, be sure you slam that like button like a champ. And if you guys want to see more wrestling talk with awesome gameplays, you know the way you got to do it. Got to drop the subscribe button and hit that bell icon to turn on notifications so that way you guys will never miss out another video right here on my channel. So with that being said, I'm your friendly neighborhood wrestling gamer, inviting all of you guys out there to stay awesome. Bye, guys.